Hello dear students, welcome back to the second session of a bridge course for the first PUC biology. So myself Pradeep Kumar HM, zoology lecturer for Samartha Medical and IIT Academy. So let's continue the various terms which are important in understanding the biology of first PUC as well as the second PUC. In previous class we have discussed regarding the branches of the biology, the meaning of the biology or definition of the biology, and some basic terms. Let's continue that basic terms. The next term is metabolism. The next term is regarding metabolism. Okay, so here we are discussing regarding the basic terms of the biology. So in that basic terms particularly we are discussing regarding the important terminologies to understand the first PU and second PU biology topics. What is metabolism? What is the meaning of metabolism? Here, the metabolism means sum total of all chemical reactions, sum total of all chemical reactions occurs in our body, which occurs in body of an organism, altogether it is called as metabolism. If the metabolic reactions takes place in the body means they are of two types, means they include two type of reactions. What are those two type of reactions? So here such reactions or the phenomena is called as metabolism. This metabolism includes two terms or the two type of reactions in it. What is that one? Metabolism is the sum of anabolism and catabolism. Together it forms metabolism. What is anabolism now? We know that metabolism is nothing but all type of reactions which takes place in our body, that is biochemical reactions. Instead of calling only the chemical reactions, let's call this one as biochemical reaction, because as they are taking in the living organism or the body of the living organism, they are the biochemical reactions only. So anabolism and catabolism together constitute metabolism. Then what do you mean by anabolism? Anabolism andre enu, catabolism andre enu? What is the meaning of these two terms? Means anabolism means this is nothing but, which means it includes anabolic reactions, and catabolism means it includes catabolic reactions. What do you mean by anabolic reactions? Means here the reactions which give rise to the formation of complex substance from the simpler molecules or the simpler substances. Nothing but anabolic reactions means, which means constructive reactions. So constructive reactions are called as anabolic reactions. Such phenomena is called as anabolism, or process is called as anabolism, is a part of the metabolism. Next, catabolic reactions means here. The catabolic reactions means, what is the meaning of this one? Destructive reactions, nothing but they are destructive reactions. What happens in constructive reactions and destructive reactions? Their name itself indicates what type of reactions occur in them. or what type of reactions they are. Constructive means here complex substances are built, complex substances are built by using simpler molecules or substances. So in this reactions what happens? Complex substances are built by using the simpler molecules. Example, if you want to take example, by using amino acids, they give rise to the formation of complex substance called as protein. Complex substance called as protein. Protein is built by the combination of various amino acids. By the combination of various amino acids, protein is built in our body. So this protein is used for building up of various tissues in our body. So here protein is a complex substance which is built by using simpler amino acids, simpler molecules or substance called as amino acid here. So here this process here, conversion of amino acids in order to build complex substance called as protein is a constructive process. Various amino acids are combined together to form a complex protein. Such type of reactions are called as anabolic reactions or the anabolism. Similarly here, destructive reactions. Example, if you want to take here. See, the food which we intake or the what food we consume, it contains various type of nutrients. Say it may be the lipids, that is the fats, carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, etc. If I take the example of here, starch as an carbohydrate. Starch is an carbohydrate present in the food material, right? So you are already well versed with the photosynthesis reaction which takes place in the green plants, right? In which in the presence of sunlight, the water and then the other raw materials, that is carbon dioxide, get converted into the starch, and it is stored in the form of starch as a reserve food material in the plants, right? That is what we are going to consume as our food stuff also. So such starch which is present in our food, when it enters into the digestive system, say for example when it enters into our mouth first, there itself digestion of the starch occurs. So in the presence of salivary amylase, this salivary amylase is an enzyme. This enzyme breaks down the starch at a pH of 6.8. At the pH of 6.8, starch is broken down into disaccharide. Here the disaccharide is nothing but maltose. Disaccharide is nothing but the maltose. So here starch is more complex form of the carbohydrate from which intermediate maltose is produced with the help of an enzyme called as salivary amylase at the pH 6.8. That maltase later acted upon by, next is this maltose. This is maltose. Later it is broken down into glucose plus glucose in the presence of enzyme called as maltase. If any biological substance or the biomolecule ends with the suffix ase, ase means that indicates is an enzyme. If any biological substance or the biomolecule name ending with the suffix ase means it indicates is an enzyme. Here maltose is there, enzyme which catalyzes or break down the maltose is called as maltase. So it break down the maltose into glucose and glucose, and glucose is the simpler form of carbohydrate. Here starch is the complex form from which a simpler form of carbohydrate is released by the enzymatic reactions. Such reactions are here called as catabolic reactions, and such phenomena is called as catabolism. Any doubt in this one, guys? So anabolism means constructive processes, catabolism means destructive processes. Hope you have understood this one, right? Make a note of this one now. The next term we are going to discuss is tissue. What do you mean by tissue? See here, tissue is a group of cells. Group of cells. So in a very simple definition, what do you mean by tissue? Means tissue is a group of cells. What type of cells are grouped here? Group of cells which are similar in structure. Means the cells which are similar in structure have common origin or share common origin. Means all of them are derived from the common origin only, and performing similar functions, Such a group of cells is called as tissue. And in previous class we already learned that one. Study of tissue is called as histology, right? Then what are the basic type of tissue present in an animal or the body of an animal? So next example are the types of tissues. Types of tissues which are present in an animal. So whatever the animal is, so how many types of tissues will be present in an animal? So those are nothing but, that is, those type of tissues are, the first one is epithelial tissue. First one is epithelial tissue. These epithelial tissue forms the cover or the surface of the underlying organs. Say for example, here skin is there, right? This is covering the complete body. So or form the surface of the body. Such covering or the surface of the body, okay, made up of tissue which is called as epithelial tissue. Buccal cavity in your mouth cavity is present, right? See here, the inner surface is soft in nature and it is lined by a type of epithelium called as the squamous epithelium. Nothing but stratified squamous epithelium is present. Like that, the various organs which are present in our body, their surface or their covering is lined by epithelium tissue. Okay, about this we will discuss later in the first PU chapter only. Next type is after the epithelial tissue. There are so many type of epithelial tissues are there that we will discuss during the regular discussion of the first PU topics. Next is after the epithelial tissue. So after this, next is connective tissue. Connective tissue. So here the tissue which connects various organs or the organ systems which are present in our body, or which connects various other tissues also which are present in our body to give a definite shape and size to an organism. For example, we are having a certain or definite shape. We are having two hands and two legs, two eyes, two nose. All are present in the similar location in all individuals, human individuals. Okay, it is not like that I am having eyes here and you will be having eyes behind the eye. What is it? Head. Anyone is having eyes behind the head? No, right? Anyone is having a nose at the abdominal region? No, right? So, how these parts are organized in a particular location in our body? What happens when you jump? Why not the eyeballs comes to your neck region? Why not the brains comes into your stomach? Why they remain in their place only? How they are held in their place? That is because of the presence of this connective tissue in our body, which gives support and a framework to the various parts or the tissues and organs present in our body. And the third type of tissue is a specialized tissue. Next is muscular tissue. Muscular tissue. Without this tissue, you cannot imagine the movements in an organism. Say for example, I am able to make sound, I am able to make a voice here, produce voice, right? In order to give lecture here means, and I am moving my fingers and hand here and there in order to point out a particular point, particular words here. I am able to move from here to there. I am able to hold this chalk means this is because of the coordination of connective tissue with the muscular tissue. Connective tissue with muscular tissue. Muscles have a specific feature, that is contractibility and relaxability. They are able to contract and relax. They do get excited upon particular stimulus. For example, whenever a ball is approaching you, knowingly or unknowingly, your central nervous system will send signals to you, the muscles which are present in the leg, either to kick that ball or to the hand to hold that ball. To hold that ball or to kick that ball, what is required? Muscular movements are required. Contraction or relaxation of the muscles are required, and relaxation of the muscle is required in order to show a specific reaction, and that is brought with the cooperation of muscular tissue and then the connective tissue. So muscular tissue make the movements in various parts of our body in order to carry out the life processes. Similarly, one more type of tissue present in our body is, so which is master for all these tissues, nothing but the nervous tissue. Nothing but the nervous tissue. So this nervous tissue, it carry out control and coordination of all other tissues and organs which are present in our body. All other tissues, organs and organ systems which are present in our body. So here I am giving a lecture on basic terms of the biology. There you are watching this class in your mobiles or laptops, right? Means you are observing something is being taught in this video, and you are listening to that one, and you are watching by using your eyes, and so you are responding for that one, whether the information given here is right or not. And some important points you will note down there, right? So appearance of my video is an stimuli there. You will respond for that one, by watching and making notes there. How this happens and which tissue comes in action in this response means nothing but the nervous tissue. So the nervous tissue make an organism aware of his surrounding, and aware of sense the changes in the surrounding and mount and suitable response for that changes. So that is by the nervous system. It only gives rise to the formation of the basic nervous system, parts of the nervous system, that is the central nervous system, which includes brain and spinal cord, and autonomous nervous system, which includes sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves also. Regarding that one we will discuss in later in detail. Is it clear? So what are the basic 4 types of tissues which are present in the body? Means epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and then the nervous tissue. Is it clear, guys? Make a note of this one now. The next term need to be discussed is organization. What do you mean by an organization? So organization is an orderly arrangement. Orderly arrangement. This organization with respect to the living organisms, here we classify the organisms based on the levels of organization. Then what is the level of an orderly arrangement that can be seen in the various type of living organisms? There we discuss regarding levels of organization. What are the levels of organization which can be seen in the living organisms or among the living organisms? Here the levels of organizations are as follows. One is, for example, see, protoplasmic level of organization. Protoplasmic level of organization. The second one is cellular level of organization. Cellular level of organization. Next is tissue level of organization. Next is organ level of organization. Organ level of organization and organ system level of organization. Organ system level of organization. What is the meaning of this one? Means if a living organism is considered, what is the level of its organization, highest level of organization that can be seen in that one? Nothing but. Let us understand this one with example. See here what happens. Protoplasmic level of organization can be seen in unicellular organisms. It can be seen in unicellular organisms. Here what happens, single cell is representing an organism. Say for example, this is an amoeba. This is an amoeba. The single cell is present here, in which say for example nucleus is present, contractile vacuoles are present, cytoplasm is present, food granules are present. Means here the nucleus or the vacuole or the cytoplasm and then the plasma membrane, these are representing the various organelles that are present or organized in cytoplasm or the protoplasm. So this is what the protoplasm or cytoplasm, in which the organelles such as the nucleus or say for example food vacuole and other substances are present. Say for example this is the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. These are present. So here the food vacuole or the nucleus and other substances which are seen in that protoplasm, they are embedded or they are organized in that protoplasm. Means where all those organelles are present in protoplasm and which is surrounded by are confined by a boundary formed by the plasma membrane. So this level of organization is called as a protoplasmic level. Protoplasmic level of organization. All life processes which takes place in the protoplasm itself are the organelles which are present in the protoplasm itself. So it can be seen in unicellular organisms. Similarly, cellular level of organization means here the highest level of organization in the animal is cell forms only, or the cellular forms only. Nothing but here the example is protozoans or poriferans. These are also called as sponges. In which cells are loosely arranged without forming tissues. So here what happens? In which cells are loosely arranged. Cells are loosely arranged without forming tissue. They will not form the tissues. Simply cells are loosely arranged or combined. Such organization is called as cellular level. Here the cells are present, but they do not give rise to the formation of tissues. Only cells are organized to give a definite shape and size to the body of an organism. Such level is called as cellular level. Similarly, tissue level. Here what happens? Cells are arranged in different proportions to give rise to the formation of tissue. So here in tissue level what happens? In which cells organize to form tissue. Such level is called as a tissue level of organization. Similarly, the organ level. Here tissue level of organization, where you can see this means example is flatworms. Example, the flatworms or the platyhelminths. Next is organ level of organization. So now you are able to define these definitions, I think, right? In an organism, if the highest level of organization is the formation of organ from the tissue, nothing but here, in which the cells give rise to the formation of tissues and tissues further give rise to the formation of organs. So the highest level of organization is organs. Say for example, eye or the legs, tentacles, like that. So organs will be developed here. Such level of organization is called as organ level of organization. Similarly, organ system level of organization, in which what happens? Initially, the cells give rise to the formation of tissues. Then tissues give rise to the formation of organs, and organs they do get arranged in a different proportional pattern to form organ systems. Here organs, say for example, eye is an example of organ. Eye is an organ only. Kidney is an organ only. Right? Like that. Skin is also an organ. Similarly here, organ system means, say for example, digestive system. What this digestive system includes, what it is made up of? This digestive system is made up of, various organs such as, say for example, it starts with mouth opening, exterior opening, mouth. Then is alimentary canal through which the food passes in our digestive system. Along with that alimentary canal, next what happens? It is also associated with liver as a gland for secretion of digestive juice. Next it includes pancreas also, right? See, mouth, alimentary canal, liver, pancreas, all they work together to complete one function, and set of such organs to complete the digestion process is called as a digestive system. Similarly, so many systems are present in our body. Circulatory systems, right? Reproductive system, respiratory system, excretory system, right? Nervous system, skeleton system, muscular system, like that. So many systems are present in an organism. If the higher level of organization is the formation of organ systems, then it is called as organism is at the organ system level of organization. So this is regarding the organization which can be seen in the living organisms. Any doubt in this one? Make a note of these points now. Okay, so this is regarding few terms, terminologies which are very important for the biology, not to understand the first PU as well as second PU biology. There are so many terms are there that we will discuss while discussing regarding that particular topic only. So, in the next class we are going to start the syllabus of the first PUC biology, and directly we are going to start the first chapter of the first PUC biology. Hope you have enjoyed today's class. Okay. Thank you, dear students.